Time for a different sort of project, something I've never done before. I'm going to try doing some dyeing of fabric. Hello, it's Icy. Yeah, I'm going to do some experiments. So this is, if it works, for a future project, a secret project. But I need to do some experiments with some dyeing of fabric first before I can actually see if the ideas I have for this other secret project will even work. Because this completely may fail, in which case I need to work out something entirely different. So what I've done, I've gotten hold of a couple of different sorts of dye. Now, I have, well actually, technically, Mr. Icy has some liquid dye. He has some plans for some other projects that he's using dye for, so we already had some. I've also got some powdered blue and powdered red, but I'm going to be working with black and dark blue. Now, the other thing I grabbed from Kmart, which is a cheap but not too bad retailer in Australia, department store, do they still call them that these days, was this dye kit. A shibori style dye kit for $12 with 5 colors, the dye and application bottles. Now I think Miss Icy also wants to have a go at doing some dyeing as well. So even if I end up just using like the indigo color and the royal blue, that should be okay. That still leaves like sage green, sky blue, and turquoise for her to experiment with. And to be honest, I might use some of those other colors for some other sorts of dyeing later. So yeah, this could be fun. So I've got that. Now, some other things I have for this experiment. I bought some white sateen, which will be for the final project. I also bought some white broadcloth to do the actual test dyeing on, because I figured I'm not going to waste the expensive sateen to do this. And I, like edged everything, chucked it through the washing machine so it was nice and clean, ready to do this experiment, and discovered it's stretch sateen, which is not what I thought I was buying. Didn't realize when I bought it, and stretch sateen will not work for this project. I don't know, actually, I mean, technically it totally won't work. However, I might be able to rig it so it's tolerable. Anyway, I'm a bit disappointed. So what I've done is I've taken like a strip of the sateen, thrown it through the wash, though, I mean, admittedly, it does not feel as nice as it did before. This is my, oh wait, is that a strip of, no? Why did I do that? Okay. Anyway, this is a strip of broadcloth. This is my actual test piece. I think this is actually broadcloth. Why did I tear off a piece of the broadcloth as a separate thing to dye? I don't, what? Anyway, and also I had this other really kind of tricky material. I don't know if you can actually see that. It's got this lovely kind of almost floral, abstract-y kind of leaf pattern on it. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is not cotton, but I'm gonna try dyeing it anyway, and we'll just see what happens, because even if kind of the printed stuff is like polyester, then it shouldn't take the dye, and I might get some interesting effects. So even though that's not technically for this project, I did want to try it out because I thought it might have some useful things. Okay, so this is my sateen, which has been washed. And yeah, okay, so I didn't, I don't, okay, so before I start all this, I'm just going to cut a strip of this off and zigzag along the edges so it won't fray. Because apparently I didn't do that, and I don't know why not. So good job, Icy. So I am dyeing approximately 0.8 of a pound of fabric. Wait, is that right? I made some calculations. It's all in imperial, so I had to calculate what I was doing. No, I'm doing 80 grams of fabric in this first test dye, which is 0.2 of a pound, which means I need, because I'm doing double strength dye, because I want the color to be really dark, because black, so I need 1.5 ounces, so 45 mils of dye, to 2.2 liters of liquid. This is 2 liters, so should be close enough. 60 degrees Celsius or hotter, and I need a little bit of dish soap in there and 1/4 cup of salt. So I've converted all of the requirements from, I keep shaking the camera, converted the requirements from here to be what I need. So the plan is I want, if I find my test piece, this is approximately the final size of the material that I'll need for the project. So not very big, as you can see. I'd like slightly more height, but anyway, this is fine. So what I need is, I'm going to fold it in half, and then I want like a triangle sort of shape here. So when you open it up, it looks like a mountain. Will this work? Can this work with this kind of dyeing? I don't know, but we're gonna have a go. So I think what I want to do is try the idea of, sort of the shibori dyeing on the tube. I've done a bunch of, I want to say, research by watching a lot of YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is basically take like a line through the diagonal. I'm going to like kind of tie that off. Then I'm going to wrap the rest of this around the tube, do the whole tying off, and then shuffle it up, which I think should work. The other thing I think I want to do is I want some stars on here as well. I kind of want this to look like the night sky over a mountain. Am I being wildly ambitious? Yes. Have I ever done any of this kind of dyeing before? No. Is this completely outside of what I can possibly achieve? Who knows? That's why we're doing a test. So the other thing I want to kind of put on here, if I can, stars. So I'm thinking about, I could you either just can tie like teeny tiny like little like loops so the dye doesn't get in there, or what I could actually do is use a candle, like a paraffin candle, not a soy one, and like put drops of wax across it, and basically do resistance dyeing as well. So I'm kind of thinking I might just across sort of here, put some drops of wax. I might also do some of the tying off on the other side, just so I get an idea. Actually, as the other material is not the right material, I might just use the wax, because I think that will work better. Because if this works, maybe this is the final piece. I know it's just broadcloth, but maybe that's fine. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll see what happens. So so I have a pipe, PVC pipe, to sort of wrap it around and squash it up, and then you bind it up with some string or jute twine, and then dip it in the bath. So the idea is I want the kind of mountain to stay mostly white, and I want the sky to go black. And then once that's done, then the second part of the plan is to use probably the squeezy bottles from Kmart to add a bit of kind of mountain blues and maybe some greens to the actual kind of the mountain. This is gonna work. I don't know. Anyway, so the first step is to get some some stars going, I think, and then to tie some bits up. Okay, let's see how this goes. So, I need, well, I need like a quarter of a teaspoon of dish soap. Close enough. I need a quarter of a cup of salt. Is that a quarter? Numbers are a bit iffy here. Let's see how we go. And I'm also not sure how the sound's going to be because I'm just using a Bluetooth headset. Alrighty, so let's go. Let's just try setting this up so we can see all of the things. How's that? Okay. Should be okay. This is freshly boiled water. So we should be all right. I need a stick for stirring. One sec.
That's degrees 30.
Alright, well, I guess that's it for a while. Ooh. Oh wow. Okay, that could be good. Huh. Okay, so the bleed is not good. It's not weird. Especially if I use rosemary. Oh, wow. Okay, that was amazing.
Well, that worked. That worked really, really, really well. It's the next day now. Well, so this is completely dry. Oh my god, look how pretty it looks. I'm really, really happy. It actually worked probably even better than I thought. So a couple of things. This is nominally still the test. So some things, the stars are not, they're good on this side and they're not so good on the other side. Look, there we go, that's pretty good. I need a lot more, it would appear. And also I was doing that in this room here, which, as you can see from how well I am rubbed up, is unheated. And I have a feeling maybe the wax was like solidifying before it actually got to, you know, like it could have perhaps been warmer in here and would have had more time to actually absorb in. Also, I think that was actually a waxless candle. So even though it was a cheap one, to see if I can find something that's a little more waxy, so I can actually get more stars across the night sky. The mountain. So this is now very subtly. This is the rest of the undyed. As you can see, it's very subtly purple now, which should not have surprised me, but that's okay. That's why I'm doing these experiments, and like literally first time ever doing doing dye. And I'm not sure. So my original vision was, yeah, white mountain, starry sky. I'm not sure the white mountain is necessarily working, and also I don't know if the white mountain would actually work. Now that I think about it more and see how this looks, I don't necessarily think a white mountain would work for the final design of what I want to do, because it will be on actual clothing. It's not going to be like a tapestry or a wall hanging or anything. It is actually going to be on clothing. So I think actually having the mountain black maybe might work better, and that would be relatively easy to achieve, I think, because I still do all of the tying up for this section, and then rather than balling sort of the white end up, I just like let that float free, and then it should just float in the ink and absorb all of the color, like the little test strips, and it should just go straight black almost. So that might be a better idea. Then the other thing is also the mountain shape is it's too steep, way too steep. And I've gone the wrong way. I thought, oh, originally it was going to be sort of like a 45 degrees, and I went, oh, I'll make it a bit steeper just for testing. No, I should have made it flatter. Flatter would have been much better. So next time I do that, I'll on the next piece of material, I'll do that. And the other thing I would think I need to do as well is I need to start this mountain further down. I think in the clothing I want to use this in, I think I need some black space, or just space actually. Space with clouds, or, you know, nebula or something above the top of the start of the mountain, and then the mountain comes in. So that means that the mountain is actually considerably less significant in the final piece, which is probably good. So I think that should work. So the next bit of this is I'm going to do a few other dye tests on top of this. So it is very purple. Now, nominally, that's fine. Purple is actually good for me. I was thinking I needed to make it blue because night sky, because shibori dyeing and stuff. But now that I've dyed this with the black dye and it's come out this gorgeous color, it's actually extraordinarily, like, it's really me. But what I want to try, deliberately, it's less dark at the bottom, because this section here, this was all like, this was on the inside of the roll basically as I rolled it up. So what I want to try is actually rolling it the other way, putting the darker color I've got here away, and then letting it soak in with blue instead. So letting it absorb. I've got these Kmart ones, so I'm gonna use one of these because it's already, you can see the dust in there. It's already measured, decanted, etc. Rather than breaking open Mr. Icy's powdered blue. I can use the powdered blue next time if this works. That way I can just use a little bit of this, go for it, rather than ripping open a sachet and then not using the rest of the dye. So I'll have a go with this. So the plan is I'm just going to refold it. I'm actually going to roll it up flat from the bottom because I want some of this blue to go into the mountain as well. So the blue should take on the paler mountain quite a lot. Roll it up from the bottom. I want some of that blue to kind of bleed up through the purple, and then we'll see what happens. And the other thing I think for next time when I do this, I think I'll let this sit for longer. I think I gave it about 45 minutes. So you can let it sit for an hour. I mean, I could even let it sit for longer because that's pretty good across the top there. But even in these kind of the black sections, they still haven't gone like actually black. They're still just really dark purple. And I could see how black it could get from the little test strips. So yeah, I think I want it to go like really dark basically. So next time I do it, I'll leave it for a whole hour. And the other thing is, I was doing this outside where it's really cold and windy right now. So the other thing I think that's happened as well is that the container that I used to do this in is probably cooled down really quickly. So it's kind of gone from being like, you know, like 90-degree water down to 40-degree water in that time. So that probably not helped as well with the absorption. I'm still doing it outside, so I just need to leave it for longer basically, or insulate the container that it's sitting in or something. So yeah, next step is to re-roll this up again in a slightly different way, and then put some blue dye on it and then see what happens. Okay, I'm back after having added the blue dye. Actually, technically, this is like 2 weeks later, but it's dry now, at least. How's that? I am not happy. I mean, sorry, there was an experiment. I must keep that in mind. But the blue, honestly, I mean, it's quite an interesting effect. But it did not work. That did not achieve the look that I wanted. So that's fine though. That's why I did a test. So in summary, this gave me what I want to do. So I just need more stars, and I need to add, I think I need to add an indigo dye in with the black, which will just temper the actually honestly gorgeous purple, just temper that darker, as well as making the mountain flatter and blacker. I think that will work. However, one thing I have thought about that I've seen on some other YouTube videos, just oddly, even though I was thinking about it anyway, one way, if I have the black mountain, is I might be able to do some sheen embroidery to like kind of create more of a mountain effect, and I think that will really work. I do need to get myself, I don't have a machine embroidery foot, like a jumping foot, a darning foot, a quilt, I don't know what they're called, a free quilting foot. I don't have one. So I either need to experiment just with my normal machine and a normal foot to see if that works, or with perhaps buying like a cheap one. So a real branded one for my machine is in the $40 range, which is like, I don't think so. But I could get a cheap one off eBay for probably, like, including shipping, sort of $7 and $5 shipping, something like that. So that sounds like a better option. But for my first ever dyeing experiment, pretty happy. I think for the project, the secret projects I have in mind, this should work really well. I think this should do the trick. So next video is, I'm not sure at this stage. Next video will be probably, maybe I'm going to deconstruct something, actually. I think that will be very fun, possibly quite interesting. I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, there's probably a video like this out there. It's YouTube, but this hasn't ever run across my subscriptions. So anyway, if you haven't, please join me here on YouTube. Throw me a follow, that's very much appreciated. Come follow me over on all of the places linked below, including on Instagram. I am there moderately. I try. I love making the videos. The social bits on top of it is like not my forte, but I try very hard. But thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.